Hello. You're on mute.
Hello? Am I muted still?
Nope, not anymore. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Aside from, I think, a bad, piece of chicken or something, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
But yeah, things are good otherwise. Yeah, coaching today has been very productive. Some ups and downs, but it's just, yeah, you roll with the punches. How
That's
about
true. That's
yourself?
true. I think today's been pretty good. Work was good. I have a couple friends over, so usually I'm at my desktop and have a different setup, but I'm borrowing my friend's computer because it's in a room as opposed to kind of out in the public area of the house. So
Gotcha. I didn't know you had friends over. Huh.
yeah, no, it kind of came suddenly. I didn't think it was happening tonight, but
No worries. I mean, things happen. If you're good with proceeding, I'm good with proceeding.
yeah, proceeding is fine. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk here because we've got some interesting stuff here. So something I want to point out is that you said that you feel like you hit a wall when it comes to defeating good players, like winning against people that you're supposed to beat and then losing to the PR players. But then what you go on to describe is that you'll beat people. You'll beat up a good player one day and then lose to weaker players the next day, and to me that feels like it's at odds with what you're describing here. Do you see what I mean?
A little bit. I think, the way I think about it is I construct a hurdle in my head, when I fight good players,
Okay.
and I think saying that for me it's okay, well, you just have to be a little bit more or even just fake it, right? Fake some confidence, know that these are the things that you've been working on, and kind of deconstruct the hurdle so that it just feels like a regular opponent, right? It should feel like maybe eventually when I feel confident against people who I think are considered worse in skill, I think that feeling can manifest when fighting who I think are good players. And so
Okay.
I try to do that, and then maybe sometimes it'll happen, I'll happen to win against a player even if I haven't deconstructed the hurdle the whole way, and it's oh, I've gained some confidence, I feel good about that win, but then the next week or so I'll still find that hurdle constructed in my head, especially since I don't win consistently against people who are necessarily who I think are lower than me in skill. I think it's gotten better over the years, but I still find myself whenever I hit a top player, I still construct the hurdle, even if I can overcome it. It's I'm overcoming the hurdle as opposed to being confident about being able to beat them.
Okay.
That's how I think of it. Maybe what I wrote is at odds still with that, but
Well, let's look at it a different way. So you mentioned that you finished work today. What do you do?
I'm a software developer.
Okay. So how long have you been doing software development?
Well, my first job of software development was technically in college, my senior year of college.
Which
I'm
was?
27. That was when I was 22. So that's 5 years ish, maybe 4 if you want to consider just real professional experience.
Sure. So obviously some jobs, as you've worked through this profession for a long time, have been more difficult than others, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And you can kind of tell when they're going to be more difficult than others, kind of by looking at the scope of it or what the demands, right?
Right. Exactly.
So have you ever had the experience of of having a less difficult task but one that wound up still being kind of challenging in its own way after you've just finished a really, really complicated one? Anything like that?
Sure. Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Say I don't know, in jobs we consider, or in my job we assign point values to certain tickets or problems. And so if I look at a ticket and say, oh, it's going to be a 2-pointer, and then I start working on it, it's oh, this is going to expand quite quickly after delving into the problem a little bit more, then things can go awry.
Well, things can surprise us, right? Because we have the perception, the summary information that we've accrued up to this point, but the reality of situations is that they change, don't they? They're kind of players are like that too. So I guess my question is if we're maybe part of the issue is that we have this very defined idea of, and to correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe we have this very defined idea on how difficult everyone should be, but we haven't left enough room in our mental stack for uncertainty and for adapting and adjusting as the challenge evolves or changes in front of us.
I guess that's true. Like, I guess what you're yeah, I think that makes sense. Just like the idea of like when I'm in the heat of a match, like anything can happen, and so like it's basically like a difference of reality versus perception, right? And then like seeing that, like, or knowing that those things don't necessarily have to like align for me to like win, I guess. I don't know exactly how I would describe it, but just like, yeah, just like reality perception are just like different, right? And like appreciating that fact.
Yeah,
is, like,
exactly.
really important.
Like appreciating the appreciation, I think, is really the key there. Like the idea is that we're not going to discard the useful information, but how useful or this is going to be hard or this is going to be easy, like realistically, because it's not like it informs our decisions. It's not like it tells us what moves we're gonna do. Like if it's this is hard, this is easy, what does that add? What is useful though? Like what would be something more useful than that if you're fighting a fox player? Like what's one
like
thing?
thinking about like the specific situations, like does this, like if I see the fox player jump at me in nair, like what is my answer to that situation?
Well, even the
And,
fact
like,
that they went for jump nair, like that suggests if they're running at you and nairing, that suggests they're attacking you, right?
sure, yeah.
So we know that there's like offense is a part of how they built their play style, and it's represented enough for them to use the standard approaching nair. So like that's also kind of useful information because it means that helps us weight our responses to when they can run at us. But if we add they're really good to that or they're really bad to that, do our answers actually change?
Not necessarily, because it's like, or rather, like I think the answers change in a bad way or like in a non-productive way. Like the way I think about it is that like if I think, oh, they're good as they jump nair at me, I'm gonna be like, oh, they're gonna jump nair at me in a good way or like a way that's like nuanced or different, as opposed to like seeing the actual like inputs, like what's actually happening on the screen. I'm just gonna assume that it's a good nair, as opposed to like a fox nair at me and I think they're a bad player. I think it's gonna be a bad nair, even if it was an actually good nair, and then I'll just like misinterpret the situation.
Yeah, we're adding
a
level of distortion because we've added a judgment, and the judgments are only what we perceive. They're nothing to do with on the screen.
Okay, yeah. I never really thought of it that way, but that does make sense.
Okay. Because that I think is the through line with all these with what you've provided here, because there is an inconsistency, right? Because we're saying that we're really consistent at like beating people and then beating the people we're supposed to beat, losing to the ones that we're not, but then we kind of edit that based on new information that we probably pulled from our memory, and then we just kind of keep going. So it's like this back and forth because we're trying to evaluate. I think there's a back and forth because we're trying to evaluate something, but I'm just wondering if the thing we're evaluating is detracting from our focus elsewhere. On the concrete things that we can control and we can improve.
Sure, yeah. I think that's fair.
If you disagree with me and think I'm being crazy, let me know, because I need your buy-in, because otherwise this doesn't work. So
no, I hear you. I hear you. I think like what's the problem is that like sometimes I feel like I can like feel a certain way, or like it's hard for me to like sometimes remember how I feel in a certain way, and then like being honest with myself like after the fact. Like I think oftentimes like how that manifests for me is that like I can think of the answer of a certain situation in like game, like when I'm watching it and like being able to pause and like play or whatever, and then have I can say an answer that's like fairly reasonable, but then like when it comes push to shove, like I feel like it doesn't come out, or at least like it doesn't manifest. So the way I'm thinking of it right now, right, like that's like inconsistent, is like the way I'm saying it right now is like I'm trying to like qualify and like understand every single aspect of it, when I should just like kind of talk about how I feel about the situation to begin with, like not just like trying to edit it to sound like pretty or like correct, you know, like quote unquote correct.
That was a huge problem. That's probably part of what destroyed my career. So like absolutely, like that is a huge thing, because those distortions what they do is they kind of like provide us a padding to reinforce, to reassure us of that the decisions we are making are okay. But a lot of times the decisions we're making, or like our refusal to see the system for what it, like the system or interaction for what it is what we're doing is we're protecting a mistake or a misconception, and that has a compounding effect over time. So we have to be very, very careful about those. What's a situation that you find, is there a situation you can think of, because I feel like everyone has one, but like is there one, sometimes they can't name it, sometimes they only have a vibe, but like is there a situation you can think of where this might come up a lot,
Where like
where you're trying to like put a, where your self-talk or reevaluation, your revisions I guess, are trying to put a spin on the situations to protect your ego, to protect like how you're feeling, to protect like your perception of yourself or your playstyle, anything like that.
I mean, the way I think about it, like looking back, is like I think, especially, I don't know. I guess the only thing that can come to mind, and I don't know if this necessarily like
That's okay.
fits the thing you're talking about, but like if I lose a match and I talk to someone else about it, I think I oftentimes try to be very positive about the situation, like about like me losing or whatever. Especially like in comparison to some of my peers that I feel like are a little bit like, more negative or like salty after losing. I feel like I maybe construct this positive spin on things and like try to like say, oh, losers improved, like I'm feeling okay like after the loss or whatever. But I think there's a couple situations where like that doesn't happen, and like that's how I like truly like, I sometimes I do get salty and like that's how I truly feel, but then like I don't actually like outwardly say that or try to like hide it to like preserve like some level of like being a positive player. And like that's maybe the only thing I can come to mind, like a specific example, because there's a couple times when I like definitely was very salty after losing, but then just didn't say anything to anyone or like just like outwardly tried to be very, I don't know, positive about it. But
Do you have any of those recorded?
like my
The
oh
tournament,
like
the tournament sets. Yeah.
um I don't know, I don't remember.
That's okay. So do you have any examples where like the trying to be too positive have happened?
um I think most of the time at like nationals that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I lose in like pools at a nationals, if I like drown or whatever, I'll like it feels like there's a level of investment there that maybe I expect to like return like when I play at a national, especially like if I'm given like a decent seed or like expected to go out.
Yeah.
Um and then like if I don't meet those goals, like I'm never the one to like I'm never one to like out like especially if there's a crowd behind me or like a lot of people that I know nearby. I just kind of like, oh, we'll go next. Losers improve. Like I'll get them next time. There's always a next one. But then like if I go back to the hotel alone, like I'm very not happy about it, and like I don't ever like try to like tell anybody about that sort of thing. Um, and that's I think that's the the few like concrete examples I can think of. So like for example, like I want to say like I want to say maybe a bat or Gommel of last year, get on my level of last year or the year before. I lost in pools to an Ice Climbers player that I thought wasn't. I never heard of them before, and I like even during playing them, I didn't think that they were necessarily all that like much better or better than like most other ACs players that I've played in the past that I think are good. I can't really stop myself from saying that, but that I think are good and like I've lost to in the past, or even that I've beaten in the past. Um,
Okay.
and so like I lost that, and like there were a bunch of people like nearby me, and they like were cheering me on, and like it's like, oh man, that sucks. It's like, and like I think some of the positivity comes from the fact that like I know that these guys understand me, um, and so like understand what like being salty is like. So like let's just put on a different face. Let's be positive about it and like kind of work on the next time. But um I'm not super happy about it. Actually, I'm never actually happy about that. I'm never actually happy after a loss. I don't know very many people who are. I just never like outwardly show it.
Yeah, it's almost like you're having to suppress. Like, I feel like you're having to suppress it almost. And
Maybe that's true in a way.
so, did you lose to? Did you play against a Marth player? Like, what did you go? Like, you mentioned that you lost to an Ices, but did you also fight a Marth or anything? Or like, is anything recorded or?
Um. Oh, like from. I mean, I can look. Sorry, I didn't really come to this lesson like enough, like very prepared. But
That's okay. These things tend to like go off in their own direction, so
sure.
it's all good. What's your tag?
Forest with one R.
Okay, so you're not the Marth player.
I am a Marth player, but I am not the Marth player.
Okay, so I see you. I see you playing Fox against this guy Papa No Johns. I don't know if that's actually you.
That's it. It's off because I think that's they have it labeled as Papa No John's as the Marth. It is me as the Marth versus the Fox.
So I see. Okay, so I definitely see VODs of you, like from Battle at BC.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you made it into top 48.
Yes, this is one of those ones where I felt very confident, or at least like confident after winning, because I beat people that I thought were good. Like SB, I thought was pretty good, and like I won a close match versus Papa No John, so that like made me feel good because I was able to clutch it out. But I think like a week or two after that, I like drowned in pools at my like local, so that did not feel great.
Okay.
But
what characters did you fight there?
In the local or in Battle BC?
Well, Battle BC, I see a bunch of foxes, so like that, that makes sense. But at the local, what did you fight?
I mean, I'm usually also fighting Spacies, and it's funny because I think coming into Battle BC, I would say actually Spacies is one of my weaker matchups in general. Like I'm very good against floatier characters like Peach and Puff, and things like that. Even Marth Dittos, I'm actually like fairly confident in, but then Spacies are the ones that are like the most troubling for me. Like
Okay.
really fast, like Foxes or Valkos can give me a lot of trouble.
I think I need to be able to see your play to like to diagnose this. So here's what I'm thinking. Why don't I? Can you play Slippy right now? I know people are over, but could we boot up Slippy and I could spectate you?
Sure. Let me see if I can. So I'm on my friend's computer. Can I disconnect really quickly and I'll join?
Yeah,
back
absolutely,
up on Discord
absolutely, totally fine.
Yeah.
Thomas, if you are watching this in the rebroadcast, stop apologizing. It's fine. These things happen. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. We good.
All right, cool. Sorry, is if it.
I swear you apologize more than a Canadian. It's crazy.
All right, let me see here. Okay.
Yeah, you should just have to plug my code into the thingy. And
yes.
Excellent. Oh, you went out to Triffin losers. Ooh.
Yeah, that was impossible. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, Triff is quite good.
He's quite good. All right.
Okay, I don't
He
see.
gets connecting?
I don't see a spectate. Have you launched the game client?
I have not. So let me do that real quickly.
Yeah, that has to be launched, and then it'll give you the option to share your gameplay.
Okay.
So let me know when, and I'll refresh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, I think it's going now.
Yep, I can.
You want me to just go on unranked, or sorry, you want to play me?
Well, no, I was gonna watch you play. I was gonna watch you play because I don't play Fox. I don't play Spacies. And I
Sure,
figure that unranked or ranked, whichever you prefer, will give us a better sample of players.
Sure.
It's my one problem of playing a weird character. Not very useful for diagnosing myself.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, in like live environment anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've got Falco. So talk me through Falco. What's the game plan generally?
Try to mitigate lasers most of the time. Make sure I kill them. Sorry. Mitigating lasers, like using power shielding, like instant moves out of pit.
Okay.
And then like using the power shield laser to like close the space so I can get like a grab or an aerial. The aerial at low percent I try to go for is Nair because it'll knock down a little bit earlier.
Also combos to grab better. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm not very good at playing and talking.
No, it's okay. I knew that was going to be challenging. I was going to see if you could do it. So yeah, we'll just watch. I'm just going to observe for a bit. I would say that Nair into like mash fair on laser is pretty good too. Like approaching.
Yeah.
So I would definitely make sure that we're using that because like one of the things about Falco is a lot of the matchup is like there's a big component of like challenging him for trying to like zone in a position or like set up in a position where he shouldn't. So just be mindful of that and then just play normal. Like make a note, keep playing.
Yeah.
Really made that nice. Okay. When you get close to him occasionally, it's good to like shield his like approaching aerial. If you think that he'll if you just think that he'll bite with it with a forward smash or that, or just any kind of like all in. Because yeah, shielding good. As a call out anyway.
Right.
Obviously don't do it every time, but like yeah, once in a while it's good to keep him honest. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So after that counter, what's a better line? Like, what's a better move? Run off fair?
Yeah, probably if I see the up B. I'd like the jab to try and cover instant side B, but I should probably react afterwards, like, better.
Yeah, so let's try to do that. So after if we see the up B after counter, we're gonna make a note to run off fair. And then we're just gonna continue to play. Because we're gonna trust ourselves that we can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Why Marth?
Why I play Marth?
Yeah.
So I started off with Sheik because I thought ninjas were cool. But then I watched Muta King at Big House 4 fight Leffen. And I was like, wow, Marth is really cool. And I just kind of like moved on from there because I think Marth is like the one character I like practicing with the most.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. Like, I can play Ness forever.
Right.
He's just really fun. He's sick. We had him up B below the stage on that last one, so we're just going to make a gentle reminder to just like, yeah, look for that spot, run off Ferret. And we're going to trust that we can do it. Just visualize how you do it if you need to, and then we just keep playing. Nice. Kaboom. Nice. What's something you would... So, against this guy, how do you find him in terms of difficulty? Easy? Difficult? Free?
I don't find them particularly difficult,
Okay.
but I think
No, keep going.
I thought I was like losing stocks because I was like really hyper paying attention to what you're like saying to like keep note of.
No, don't do that. That's what we told you not to do. You make a note of it and you move on. So you gotta trust yourself. You gotta trust the process.
Yes. Okay.
I had a feeling that was happening.
Right.
Why do you think it's important that we ease up on ourselves mentally in those situations?
Well, you're talking about mental stack.
Yeah.
I think like if you don't ease up on yourself, you're gonna think about that instead of like playing well.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna think about the mistakes and like all the mistakes you're making.
Yeah, exactly. So like, what's something important? What's something we can say about young Link, or like floaties in general? Maybe like we'll up. What do you usually where do you usually throw him?
I usually throw them forward to get them off stage, but
Let's try throwing him up into
Okay.
up airs, into up air shark. How does that feel?
it felt good if only because I don't think Young Link has like a lot of great options to come down, or at least like the one is like kind of laggy and like predictable.
Okay, so why does that like detract from it being good? If we're doing it against him because he has those weaknesses, why shouldn't that feel good?
Sorry, why should it feel good that I do it against
Yeah,
the weakness?
you said like it felt good, but only because, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but that's why we did it.
Right. Sorry, I'm like...
That's okay, don't worry about it. Again, we're trying not to think. Now we're gonna try like F smashing him some of the time when he's like when he hangs himself into an F smash zone after our juggle. Oh, that looked fun. See, you've already done like multiple things you don't normally do. It was easy. What was different?
I had a good player tell me that. No.
It's because we eased up the what?
The self-deprecating, like the stuff that's...
Starts with an M.
Right.
Because the thing is, the emotions just occupy parts of the mental slack, don't they? Like, the judgments do. They don't really add anything, so they just take up RAM. We don't need RAM.
That's true.
Yeah. I know, I'm very mean, I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you're very me. I think you're being realistic and like asking me important questions.
And do you find the new toys fun to play that you're playing with right now?
Yeah, like, because I think I mean, new toys are nice, right? It's a brand new idea, something I haven't really explored before.
Yeah, because I don't really see you, like, against the Falco, I didn't really see you comboing with, like, up air. I could have, like, it's a lot of up tilt and stuff, that's good, but, like, up air is so good. So, like, we noticed he got out there. Maybe there's a way we can cover one side of the platform with fair, like, double jump fair, and then, like, land and still, like, pressure on the other side. Maybe we don't have to, like, commit to the up air so hard. Because I've seen Zane do, like, fair into, like, tipper and stuff onto the platform by, like, auto-cancel landing. So maybe there's, like, something to that, too.
Right.
Nice. Okay, so some shenanigans. We don't have to play against the Young Link after. We can look for somebody else after this game.
Sure.
Instead of using those full hops, let's try to use short hops into double jumps for those like pressuring those side platforms. If we're gonna, like, the double jump is optional, but, like, yeah, let's try to use, like, movements that keep us more, like, in the positions we want to be in. How did that feel?
What, the Ken combo? I mean, that was good.
I meant I meant the whole last stock, because you looked great.
I thought the last stock felt okay. I know we talked about, like, I did only one situation where I thought the short hop up air was, like, the short hop double jump, like, optional up air was, like, a good, that was at the end.
Yeah. So
I missed it, but, like,
you did it on another one, though. Like, you did the movement, you spotted the new one, that counts as learning.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
It's baby steps, right? We always we keep expecting, like, we'll have it all done, finished, that in our, like, first day of, like, learning it, but that's just not realistic. Sometimes it takes a day.
Right.
So, this is Jigglypuff. You said you're good on floaties. Does she count as a floaty?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. Then show me your power. Okay, we've got the Zane grabs.
Right.
Get it? It's like chain grab? No, I'm kidding.
That's funny. That's funny.
Alright, so, like, we got things. We've got puffs with wiggly tufts. And she's coming with a moonstone. No! Curse is foiled again. Nice. Let's try to use it. Let's try to, like, spice things up a little bit. Let's use more fair and up air when she's above us.
Okay.
Let's go up there. And yeah, same short hop double jump motions. Because we wanna... Or if she's, like, really high up, we can do full jump fair. But only if we hit her at the peak of our jump. Nice call out. You're like, yeah, I'm a Jigglypuff. I'm so, like, good. I'm so technical. I can fast fall. And then we were like, no. Counter. Ah. She two-framed us. Don't be afraid to forward smash her. Especially if she's jumping, like, directly into our zone. If she's jumping right into the death zone, feel free to kill her.
Right.
This Puff isn't bad, though. Whoever they are. Nice. Just throw out moves, I think, when she, like, throw out more moves when she's, like, trying to, like, shark into, when she's trying to, like, sneak her way into your zone. You don't have to give up your advantage state for, like, to try to grab her landing. Just, like, time and swat her away and just, like, make her life miserable. When she's low on jumps and has to land, that's when we are allowed to, like, go for the grab stuff. But, like, we don't do it before then. Not when there's tons of free damage on the table. There you go. See what I mean?
Yeah.
We make her suffer! And now you can go for the thingy because it kills her.
Right.
The Nair is a good indicator that she has to land. So that's like a cue that you can go for the grab. The grab mix-up. Oh, I'm just not hitting them. What's up? Tech skill or?
I don't practice enough.
Oh. Are you using C-stick?
Yes. Or I'm flicking the stick with the, yeah. I'm trying to use C-stick.
Oh, I always just A button because the window's bigger.
Right.
Yeah, with the way that you're doing them, that because you're getting the empty pivot, it just means that you're F smashing on the frame where you're doing the turn. You need to just yeah, it should be like later, I think. Or...
Right.
Yeah, because you're doing empty pivot, which means that it's the soft turn. Here. Are you on box or controller?
The controller.
Okay. It's crazy. You're nuts at that.
Ed got there. What's he gonna drink? Like we've been there for like 5 minutes.
Use fares and stuff sometimes to board the platforms, and then like at mid percents, and then get a follow up for like fares into forward smashes and stuff at like 40, that kind of percent.
There's no one that cheers your head. Yeah, that's all I did though. But that.
I heard chain grab in the background. Are people playing Melee?
Yeah, it's friends that I've gotten from there. I know from Melee.
Nice. So who's the best player there? Is it you?
No, it's a Falcon player named Killblue.
Oh.
They can hear me a little bit. Killblue says hi.
Hi. So, how are you finding this game is going?
Better. I think the thing that's like sticking out to me is like you're talking about like just sticking out moves instead of like puff like sneak into my zone, and she's still doing it. I just like recognizing a little bit more, which is I think like recognizing when I could have put out a move and I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your moves beat hers. Unless she gets like a timing read or something, or like has the best position of all time. So yeah, like I think that it's like good to milk advantage state as much as we possibly can, because screw this character. She's boring and evil. But also very exciting. It's complicated. But yeah, like I think that what we have here going on is it's good, and I think that what correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we're doing a better job of not ascribing things to, like, good or bad plays. It's just like, yeah, they could have gotten around this. It was not because my, like, fair here was god-awful. It's just that he had a, you know, it was just wrong footing. Or something like that. See, that counter was sick. Ah, yes. I was gonna say, they always like to do the worst pound of all time here.
Right.
Oh, he's not doing biting. Maybe he does now. Nah.
Kind of shielded preventatively now.
Nah, I led you astray there, unfortunately. I even have the right DI, of course.
I was afraid of if I went strict away, like if I land on the platform, it's possible that she can like reach there and like do something weird.
She can RTC rest you.
Yeah.
Let's play somebody else after this game. After we win this game,
Okay.
if we win this game, regardless of what happened. Yeah, that's always the right DI, I think.
No, that's-
Timing mix up.
that was almost bad DI.
Just attack that. F smash it.
Mm.
Because if it hits your hand, she just flies back and dies anyway. Ooh, punishing the shield drop angle. Very nice. Ooh, okay, that was tricky. You're doing more stuff, I think.
No.
Like, you're doing different things. It's cool. I haven't seen some of this stuff before. Like that fake out with the back air. Okay. They're bringing it back. They got stuff. They got moves. Nice. So I want to point out you still went for a hit on the rollout.
Yeah, I went for the down tilt instead of the force smash.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's still trying to hit it.
Right.
The point is you are trying new things.
Right.
So you actually are really good at this, it looks like, in terms of implementing new things, at least from where I'm sitting, because I keep giving you things to do, and you keep being able to, like, test with them and tinker with them. Like, am I wrong? Because I'm seeing it happen.
No, yeah, sorry.
It's all good. You're scary ninja lady. You're Marth. I get it. Deal with the Uchiha clan, and then yeah. She definitely would be. She would have magic powers.
Yeah.
And warp people's brains with magic. Seems like a chic thing to do. Oh god, she's gonna tip her. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I was like, oh dear. Oh golly gee. Good DI. Why shield after the fair? Why not dash away? Okay. Like when you hit her on the shield on the side platform with like late fair, why do you shield instead of dashing away?
Can I not get forward tilted even if I dash away frame perfectly?
Nope.
Okay.
If you hit her shield on the platform, you will not get faired if you do everything perfectly. Yeah, look at that. Look at him go. Okay, that was not the way we wanted him to go, but that's okay. Oh no, Sheik. I would have smashed. I don't know if it would have been right, but I would have done it. Yeah, the only thing I'd say in this one, try to hit confirm into F smashes. Don't go for them like raw. Like that one you did there was good because you confirmed into it with the setup, but like don't, yeah, just try to do that more. Because it is important to get her off stage. Oh, they got fancy. Easiest comeback of our life. Oh, you went for it. Okay, I respect the attempt. This tricky sheep. Oh no!
We still need me with the
Why do you go for back air for your sharking instead of fair?
I am not confident in my tech skill to hit the fair as opposed to the back here.
Oh.
But
Look, we've been reluctantly testing myself with a once, like,
I think the easiest answer is like, or the not like, the level 1 answer is like my back is facing towards her and it's easier to hit it than the dash, like turn around fair.
That is a very reasonable answer. But in situations where you have the time, maybe that can be an adjustment. Because the fair is more frame efficient.
Right.
So I'm not saying, like, never do it. I'm saying let's look for opportunities where we can do it. Like where we can make the distinction and do the stronger play. Because, yeah, back air has a utility. It's the easier option because sometimes we need that. I know, it's like, that's probably like that's a cardinal sin with, like, coaching this game. It's like, I told you that I justified the easy option. But we sometimes need them. For who has not F-smashed a character recovering on Yoshi's story because it was easier than edge hogging?
Right. like he cast the first
Yeah, exactly. I mean, God, oh, F-smash tipper after the nair. No. It's okay. You're playing great. I'm enjoying this. Easy clap. Oh, got up a little early. Intimidation. Are you trying to hit the frame where she's like off the platform for like slide off or something, like the last couple frames or whatever?
What, like me trying to lay it on there? Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, gotcha. So you're just trying to do like the super good stuff. Cool, no worries. I wondered why you were doing. I wondered how they were missing. Then I was like, oh yeah, her tech probably works similar to that of like Fox and Falco in that one. So yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
After this one, let's debrief, because I think that we've learned a lot about, like, I think that we've learned a lot here today, although I'm not sure if you agree, but I think that we have. And yeah, it would be, I think, good to, like, chat.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. Nice. Kablamo. Okay. So let's talk sharking for a bit, but because that's one of the things something I've noticed. But before we get into that, how did you feel that went?
The whole session or just the games against Sheik?
No, the whole session, like overall.
I thought I think the biggest takeaways I thought were like being less judgmental about things going wrong, especially when I'm trying new things like that you're telling me to. I think you were kind of alluding to that, but like what would happen is that like I would say like you would talk about something like good that I tried, and then I would like immediately counter like, oh well, it didn't work, or like I failed like the thing you told me to do, but I did something along the lines of like what you asked, which I think ultimately is a good thing. I think it's true. Um, so I felt like I need to my mentality needs to change in that way. I need to like be very more like a lot more objective about like what happened rather than like talking about like what it could have happened or like what should have happened.
Yes.
I think also I think one thing that Fox has talked to me about before is that like it's clear that I've thought about a lot of parts of like melee and like matchups, but there's clearly things that are like really important that I'm not thinking about, and that's like kind of the stuff that he's trying to like direct me towards, and I think you are as well. Like there's a couple like I agree that like sharking puff with like up airs is like good. I've never really like prioritized that in the matchup. Same thing with like the Sheik. I've never necessarily prioritized trying to get like four smash setups. I've always tried to like juggle her because I felt like that was the part that's like maybe it's like the interesting part to me, or like maybe I thought of it's like as the hardest part, so I wanted to work on that as opposed to like trying the easy stuff to like send her off stage and then like edge guard her, which I have a general idea of like how to do, but I don't prioritize it as much. Like I think of it as like a byproduct of like the other stuff I work on, but it's nicer to know like someone who I trust to tell me like what to prioritize, you know?
Yeah, so let me ask you something. So what is it? So we didn't get a chance to do because I didn't get added to Discord for a while. I didn't get to do my intake form, but one of the questions there is what is a win condition in this game? So if you had to describe what you think a win condition is in Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, how would you put it?
So ultimately, like winning in Super Smash Bros. Melee is taking 4 stocks before your opponent does. So
Well,
a win
that's-
condition should.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
like that's the definition of winning, but it could also be that you end on the clock with more time, with more health or resources than like health or stocks than the opponent. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't. Have
I guess
to
that's
be
fair.
Yeah.
I think as a Marth, I don't time out people as much. So like I usually think of win condition and like the idea of like how do I take the opponent's stock,
Yeah.
and so like for me like the win condition is like what what move or what situation can I set up for myself so that the next like mix up I play or the next idea I can get either gets them closer to dying or like kills them.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's Marth there. This is Final Destination. We're gonna have him fighting Luigi. So this is Luigi, and he's unhappy because he doesn't like fighting Marth.
Right. He's also in the air, which below me or above me, so that's not.
We're gonna make his life really miserable too because he has no double jump.
Okay.
So it's like it's like the Jigglypuff player, but like with a twist.
Yes.
So this, in my opinion, is Marth's win condition versus many characters. Can you tell me why?
It's win condition versus Luigi in this situation. You said.
Any character who's floaty and isn't named Jigglypuff.
So, like, they're in the air with no double jump, so they have like very few resources to like actually come down in a safe way.
They have no resources except for their health bar. All they can do at this point is nair haphazardly and hope that he does not time it or counter it correctly. But they have no they have no options. This to me is the definition of a win condition. It is the point at which in a match the one player has accrued so much advantage that the other player can no longer effectively fight back against what they are doing and have to just accept the penalty, however, no matter how severe it is. So, in this case, I would say that, even if Marth's at 100, even if let me ask you, if Marth is at 100 damage and Luigi is at 0, Marth is still probably, or let's say 30, because you had to get him up there.
Yeah.
Marth is very much, probably going to take this stock, isn't he? Maybe not every time, but, the vast majority of the time, right?
Right.
So, even with a deficit like this, it doesn't matter. Marth could be at 300 here. It doesn't really matter, because Luigi has nothing except for just flailing with moves, and Marth can always beat those.
Right.
So he has no options. He is lost, because, this is over. That, to me, is a win condition. This is why I think that sharking is such an critical part of his gameplay, because if Marth is the best character in the game at exercising the natural advantage state of this position. Do you see why?
I have a sword.
Yes, and you're very fast. And,
Yes.
and your fast sword and your speed and sword allow you to be extremely careful, precise, and controlled about how you pick apart the person coming down. And I think that is an area of your game. If you really want my opinion, because you have tons of things that you can work on. Like we learned a lot today. You have lots of things to explore in terms of like comboing Sheik, but this to me is so fundamental because this will help you against every single character. This will even help you versus Fox and Falco. With them, it's just a little different. We can get rid of this guy because he's low tier and has been purged in the fire.
Yes.
But if we're fighting Fox and Falco, what do you think your win condition against them looks like? At what point do they no longer have the ability to fight back?
I mean, if they're off stage, it's like one aspect. If they're off stage below the stage, like the way you're drawing it, because then they can only up B and change the angle. But there's oftentimes like if Marth is in the right position, they can just go down there and kill them, or just like cover a lot of the options, even if they do fire Fox up in a certain angle.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is Super Saiyan Fox, and he's still not able to stop Marth here, because even with all of his superpowers, at the end of the day, because he also has no double jump, all he can do is up B. We know that his only move is to up B like this. Maybe he can do wall ride, maybe he can do this stuff, but at the end of the day, he only has one line of play, which means all we have to do is protect this area.
Yeah.
All we have to do is protect that somehow. Cool, huh?
Yeah, I think ultimately like the win condition it's supposed to be simplified, right? It should be like a simplified version of the game that you don't have to worry about like too many other variables, right?
Yeah, exactly. If we are a win condition turns the game into its simplest forms. It is the thing that removes the opponent's skill, finesse, and talent from the equation because of how severe the penalty of the situation is. It is beautiful in its simplicity, and I think that is something. If you want my advice, these are the kinds of things you want to look for, because this will give you structure to your gameplay and allow you to maximize advantage because you always know you're building towards your strongest spot.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's probably not that different than what you normally do, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some amount of overlap here with the things Drugged Fox has told you and the things I have told you, isn't there?
Yes, I think so, yes.
So, what's stopping you from... What do you think the biggest hurdle that you're going to encounter with working on this is?
I think... I think, like, one... Okay, sorry, I was kind of distracted by something.
It's all good?
My first thought, the biggest obstruction is, like, my own mentality of, like, how to set up these situations. Like I was saying before, like I would qualify certain situations that even when I worked on like did the correct thing or like did a somewhat correct thing, I would like say it's like bad. But like I can try to reward myself for like feel good about setting up these situations, even if it's not perfect. Like if I even like consciously like once do it like in a match, like that's like pretty good because I feel like what we talked about today is that like I don't do it enough, or at least I could be more emphasized in my gameplay.
I would say the latter. Like you do these, but I would say that there's like a lot of situations. Like if you go back and rewind the last match against the Sheik in particular, there's a lot of situations where you have the opportunity to put her like further out, force the up B recovery, create tension with her having to recover past your sword, and you kind of like go for a grab and throw her off stage instead, or grab the edge. So I think that like with that, there is a misunderstanding about like what you're building towards. I think you're taking a safe option because it's reliable, but you could have taken a lot more advantage, and that's a limitation on you.
Yeah.
In other words, be greedier, like unironically.
Right. yeah, kind of like it's almost like limit testing. Like just try your best to like see how far you can take it, and like especially in friendlies when it doesn't actually like there's no stakes on the line. Like just see how far you can take things, and then like kind of like take a note.
I love that. Yeah, pretend I said that, but write that down. But yeah, no, like absolutely. I couldn't put it better myself. You need to know where the limits, you need to know where the lines are drawn, and the only way you're gonna get there is if you keep pushing further. Can I count on you to keep pushing further?
I will try my best.
That's all I ask. All right,
Yeah.
I'll let you go for now. We're a little over time, but don't worry about it. This was lovely though, and hopefully we have a chance to get to work together again in the future.
For sure, yeah. I'll contact you for that.
Sounds good. Oh yeah, last thing. As with all of my learners, if you have any questions about the specific concepts that we have talked today, or would like more well-defined, concrete, to-dos. Although this is pretty broad, so I kind of want to give you freedom. Please feel free to reach out to me though, if that's what you need, because yeah, I am interested in making sure that you know this stuff. And if that's all good, I'm gonna sign out.
Yep, sounds good. All right, see you later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Hey. Sounds like it was good.
I think so.